A very good morning to all our viewers. You've tuned in live to Money Control. You're watching Newspresso with me, Stacey Pereira. Well, in the next few minutes, we are going to be giving you a lowdown of all the top stories from across the globe, insights from India, and the latest trends doing the rounds, giving you that edge and keeping you ahead of the others. So let's get straight to it and bring you all that we're getting from our Global Dispatch. Now, better than expected jobs data has increased investors' anxiety around the state of the United States economy and the path of interest rates going on. Now, Wall Street, the Dow Jones did drop about 366 points to close lower, about 1.07%, making it its worst daily performance since May. For the week, in fact, all three major averages will finish in the negative. Private sector jobs are the ones that increased by 497,000, in June, according to data from the payroll processes firm ADP. This is the biggest monthly gain since July of 2022. Now, June's increase was more than double than the Dow Jones consensus estimate of 220,000 and far better than the downward revision of 267,000 job additions seen in May. Now, the two-year US Treasury yield, that one hit a 16-year high in Thursday's session on the back of this news. And US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen begins her four-day visit to China, hoping to find common ground and improve ties between both the nations. Now, this is the second trip by a U.S. cabinet official in the last 3 weeks, after Secretary of State Antony Blinken also met with President Xi Jinping 2 weeks ago. Now, Yellen's visit is aimed at securing common ground and improving the relations between the two countries, that is U.S. and China, especially after we've had a bevy of U.S. corporate leaders, including Tim Cook, Elon Musk, Jamie Dimon. All of them have made visits to China earlier this year. And the sell-off on Wall Street has rubbed off on the Asian markets as well, which are trading under pressure for the second day in a row. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index opened up about 1.06% lower, while the Hang Seng's Tech Index, that one has dropped nearly 2% in early trade already. Now, the mainland China, that one in Shanghai Composite has fallen about 0.25%. Australian indices too are trading lower by about 1%. South Korea's Kospi has slid 1.14%. This after Samsung Electronics has estimated a 96% likely plunge in its Q2 operating profits. Among other economies, you do have Malaysia Central Bank that has held its overnight policy rate at 3% in line with expectations. And European stock markets, those ones fell sharply last evening as well as traders digested that new economic data from the US. The Pan-European Stock 600 index closed down 2.5%. All the sectors and major bourses finished in the red, with the FTSE, the DAX, all of them seeing cuts of about 2 to 3% each. Now, it was the travel and leisure stocks which really led the losses, which were down about 4%, followed by retail stocks which were down about 3.7%. And looking at the commodities front, crude oil prices have been trading in a tight range but remained flat in the previous session. Investors await in tighter U.S. Crude supplies, with higher likelihood of U.S. interest rate hikes that could really dent energy demand. Brent crude futures settled about 13 cents lower at $76.52 per barrel. Now, this after Saudi and Russia both announced output cuts. The total cuts now stand at more than 5 billion barrels per day, equating to about 5% of the global oil output. And global rice prices, which have already hit an 11-year high, are set to rise further. This after India, which accounts for about 40% of the exports, hiked the minimum selling price of rice by 7%. Furthermore, the threat of El Nino is the one impacting yields, also looms large. So this is going to definitely pick up in export prices. Now, the fallen output due to the Russia-Ukraine war too has pushed those rice prices higher. So all of this accumulating, and India being a reason for those higher rice prices. And in other news, thousands of Israelis had blocked Tel Aviv's main highway to support the police chief's ouster by Netanyahu's allies. Tel Aviv's police commander quit the forces, stating political interventions as the reason. He said that the commission had been asked to use heavy force against anti-government protesters. Now, there was utter chaos on the highways. People were seen waving Israeli flags, chanting slogans, and even burning posters. We also saw police having to use a force against the protesters. There was visuals that came up of cars driving by and crashing into people, with at least leaving 2 people on the way injured. To all the action on Dalal Street, it's the end of the week, but we did see quite an exciting win. It was a good day, in fact, for the Bulls again yesterday, where we saw the Nifty ending at record close highs for the 6th straight session, also breaching that 19,500 mark in intraday trade. Now, in fact, the Nifty has gained close to 5% in the last 8 trading sessions alone. Mid-caps were the ones outperforming the blue chips once again, and this index has soared about 1% in trade alone yesterday. And we did see India's market cap, which continues to scale new peaks after it hit 302 lakh crore rupees in yesterday's trading session. We do also have data that has come out from the markets, where we are seeing that demat additions in June, which have hit a 13-month high now, amidst that strong rally in the markets. For the stocks that you should be watching out for today, we do have Titan, Dabur and J&K Cement, which must be on your radar. Let's also get you up to speed with all the action in the primary markets. India's drone manufacturer Idea Forge Technologies is expected to make a blockbuster market debut today. The healthy IPO subscription numbers is somewhat of an indication, where we saw the issue subscribed 106.6 times during the June 26th to 30th period when it was open. Now, the grey market has also been buzzing since then. Experts believe that the stock could list at a minimum 65 to 70% premium. Meanwhile, you also had jewelry retail player Senco Gold's 400 crore IPO that got subscribed more than 68 times in the session. It is the highest demand that came from the qualified institutional buyers, or QIBs, who placed bids of about 163 times on the shares on offer, as well as the retail portion. That one got booked about 14.5 times. Billionaire Gautam Adani and Adani Green has gone ahead and announced that it intends to raise funds to the tune of 12,300 crore rupees, this through a qualified institutional placement or QIP route. Now, the Ahmedabad-based company will seek approval of its shareholders for this QIP, and the conglomerate hopes that already announced the fundraising plans of as much as 2.6 billion for 2 of its other companies, which is Adani Enterprise as well as Adani Transmission Limited. Now, following this announcement, we did see Adani Green shares trade comfortably higher by about 1% at 956.50 on the BSE yesterday. Adani Group of stocks have come under quite a bit of pressure ever since that release of the Hindenburg report. We did see Adani Green shares, in fact, which are down about 50% so far in this calendar year. And to all the political action that we've been telling you all through the week, we did see NCP patriarch Sharad Pawar, in fact, convene a working committee meeting in Delhi yesterday, just days after those MLAs did turn up at Ajit Pawar's meeting. Now, the meeting was attended by about 22 of the party's 27 state chiefs, which also went ahead and passed the resolution reaffirming support to Sharad Pawar and approving the expulsion of the rebels. Now, Congress leader also were present. We did see Congress leader Rahul Gandhi also extend his support to Sharad Pawar. Meanwhile, the MLAs supporting Ajit Pawar are currently camping in a Mumbai hotel, where they have gone ahead and affidavits have been signed by them and have been submitted to the Election Commission already, extending their support to Ajit Pawar. Let's get you all the top trends then. Now, we do have the Wimbledon tournament, which is going on, and through that tournament we have seen now a different turn. Well, we did see the tennis court turn into a protest site when climate activists threw confettis and also sat down in the center of the court. Now, this happened. They suspended the game, and we also saw demonstrators then throw confetti and jigsaw pieces in the middle of that ongoing match. Now, 3 people were arrested for that aggravated trespassing as well as criminal damage. The protesters were reluctant to leave the court and hence had to be dragged outside by the authorities. The Twitter killer app is here, one could say. Meta has launched its Twitter rival Threads yesterday evening, and Threads has a similar appearance to Twitter. It also allows its users to post messages, like replies, as well as others post and repost messages. So the very idea is pretty similar to what Twitter does, and that is something that users have been talking about on the internet. Now, about how Meta creators have been only recreating updates on apps from the pre-existing ideas. And this was one quip that also Elon Musk had to say about the new Threads. The Twitter CEO has in fact threatened Threads with a lawsuit saying that competition is fine but cheating is not. This happened hours later after the launch. We did see Mark Zuckerberg receive that letter from a lawyer representing Twitter. In the letter, Twitter alleges that Meta improperly retained Twitter documents. But the Meta CEO's new app was downloaded by 10 million users, and this within just 7 hours since its launch. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg posted in his first tweet in 11 years, taking a jibe at Elon Musk with a popular Spider-Man meme. But so will actually Thread be a threat to Twitter? That is something that you and I will find out once we all perhaps get on this app. But let me also tell you guys that Money Control is on Threads, and so for your financial news updates, you know who to follow us on Threads. But let's get you the other news that are making rounds now. Do you remember the 1960s cartoon Jetsons and those flying cars in that utopian future that they promised? Well, it seems like it's not so much of that future because it could have arrived. Now, that's because flying cars may soon become a reality. Now, the United States has approved this electric flying vehicle from Aleph Aeronautics for the test flights. Now, this company says that the cars will be available by 2025 for $300,000 each. The mechanisms of this car is similar to how a drone works, but for better to explain this, let's go across and hear out what the CEO of the company had to say on how they managed to develop something like this. Listen into what he had to say.
So think about the car on the ground. It goes up, and then your passenger side becomes the bottom wing, and the driver's side becomes the top wing, and it turns like this. Now you're reutilizing every inch of your car as the wing. Now you have a very efficient flight.
Well, flying cars by 2025, lot to look forward to. But if not the flying cars yet, then we do have Chandrayaan 3, which will be launched now on July 14. That date has been changed. It was supposed to be July 13, but now it will take off on July 14 at 2:35 p.m. Indian Standard Time from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. This was the update that came in from ISRO. We also have Ocean Gate now, which has said that they have suspended their operation after that submersible Titan implosion happened. We also, in other news, we will look forward to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who's conducting a review meeting today in Puducherry. And most importantly, for those who follow politics, that defamation case in the Gujarat High Court, which will deliver the verdict against Rahul Gandhi's plea, that will also happen tomorrow. So don't forget to tune in to our Startup Conclave, which we will be bringing you the biggest voices. We will be going live from 9:30 onwards. So that is something you need to be looking forward to. But with that, it's a wrap, and hope this dose of Newspresso was useful and informative and gives you that kick start to your day. Yes, we know it is the weekend you have to look forward to, but do come back on Monday, same place, same time, for your fresh shot of Newspresso, because I will be here and from all of the team putting this together. Thanks so much for tuning in.